Oh, I'm getting what you get.
Me?
I'm so tired. I'm just laughing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. All right, who's going? Welcome to the... Am I doing this?
You're in control, mate.
Oh.
As you can tell by the set, Al has designed the set to reflect his inner mind. Chaos.
Yeah, welcome to the Boardcast. I'd like to start tonight's episode by apologising for last week's, which had 4 people talking over each other for 2 hours. I hope you got through it, though, because it was really good content. What are we doing tonight? I thought we would talk about some different things tonight. We'll talk about our Welcome to Winter party, which we had a couple of weeks ago now. Mm-hmm. Like our forecast for the season, where it's at so far, snow season that is. Also thought we could talk about like the state of skateboarding because it's getting interesting because the lead into the Olympics is about now. So it'd be really good just to have a raw talk where we haven't prepped about what we think's going on with skateboarding, because I had a really interesting chat with arguably two of like the best skaters of their generations at the same time today. And there's a general consensus, it seems, about what's going on. So I thought I'd get your take on it, which could be interesting. And then I also thought, let's just start with that. Let's just start with that. I don't want to add any more topics.
I've been asking for the last hour what we're talking about tonight, and I was like, don't worry, and would not tell me. So I'm actually impressed you've got some structure.
Yeah, because the more I thought, if I talked to you about this before, I don't think you get honesty from it.
Yeah,
I think you get a preconceived idea of what you should talk about and how it should sound. Whereas if I just go, let's talk about the state of skateboarding. Mm-hmm. So I'll give you a minute to process that. No, I'm not at all. I'll throw myself under the bus. I'm happy to kind of state what I think's going on. I think we should just start though. Let's not go straight into that topic because it's hectic. Mm-hmm. Let's start with the Welcome to Winter party. We had it at Freshie Brewery. No beers tonight, by the way.
Do you want a beer?
No, not really. But the Freshie Brewing Co. gave us their brewery to have our Welcome to Winter party, and I thought it went pretty well. It was fucking freezing. It was a freezing cold night. I was sick as a dog, dragged myself out of bed to get there, but I thought it was really cool. It had a cool vibe. I spoke to the owner of Freshie Brewing Co., Johnny, and he said, it was a really cool vibe in there. Probably could have had more people, but it was the Friday night of a long weekend, so it was what it was. But yeah, I thought it went well.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I think it went really well. The comp we ran on the night was pretty funny.
Yeah.
We did a comp on the night where it was the fastest person to do up a set of 8 binding screws and put bindings on a board. They didn't have to be at correct angles. They just had to be attached. The fastest person to do that won a Salomon snowboard, which Salomon kindly donated for us to give away on the night.
Yeah, it was a really nice board too.
Really beautiful board.
It was a Salomon High Path.
Yeah.
Which is a really nice Salomon board.
Yeah.
It actually looked awesome. It was perfect.
And the guy who won it dropped a screw twice.
No, he dropped a screw and a washer.
And had to pick it up and still
he still won. By 5 or 6 seconds, I think.
Yeah. No, maybe even 10.
And someone else was like 52.
And then he got into the 40, close to 40, and then you came in and
smoked everyone.
I was like, imagine if Al doesn't get the fastest time.
I felt like I was under a ton of pressure because you came over and whispered in my ear before I started, hey, this is going to be really embarrassing if you can't do it in under a minute. And when the guy had done 45 seconds, I'm like, I got to do it in under 45 seconds.
You got like 38 seconds or something.
I smoked everyone. But I didn't drop a screw.
No.
I did flip one upside down during the comp, I shouldn't say this, but during the comp, I tipped up one of the guys. I'm like, dude, there's a faster way to do this. I whispered in his ear before it. He's a good customer, a little young guy. And I was like, I want you to win it, man. Put the fucking screws in before you start doing them up. Like, line them all up. And he came third, I think, because he lined them all up, but he only did 4, and then he did the next 4. I went and I put all 8 in the things, and I sort of knew they were sitting directly above the holes.
Yeah.
And then I just went bang, 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 bang. So much faster way to do it, but whatever. It's possible to do up 2 sets of binding bolts in 38 seconds.
Yeah. Well, the guy who did win was a local customer too, and snowboards, and so I'm very happy that he won it.
He owns a cafe in Brookie somewhere, I think. I don't know what the cafe's called.
I think it's the Moor.
Oh, yeah, it is the Moor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a cool vibe cafe somewhere in one of the back alleys. But he's a cool dude, and I'm stoked he won it, so good for him.
Yeah.
But the rest of the night was just drinking beer and talking shit with customers and people, and it was fun. So, you should have come, and you should come next year. We might not have it.
And hopefully we're doing more events with Freshie Brewery in the future too.
Yeah, Freshie Brewery
things
have been
in
awesome.
the pipeline.
Freshie Brewery have been really cool lately and been giving us some beers for the podcast. And last week we drank a lot, if you watched that episode. And
a few too many rounds.
that's not the best way to do these. But
it was entertaining for us at least.
That's good. And Freshie Brewery, I mean, it sounds like an ad, but Freshie Brewing Co. Is that what it's called? Freshie Brewing Co.
Freshie Brewery.
They do a beer
Brewing
called
Co?
a crisp lager that just tastes like regular beer for people out there that don't love that IPA, because I don't. That IPA vibe beer. They just do really normal beers. They've got a Mexican type beer.
I really like that.
I think it's called
Vesa or something.
Yeah, whatever. But they're good. They're good beers. And the brewery's kind of cool. It's got games and shit, ping pong
it's a sick
tables,
place.
and
It's big too.
It's very white. I find it very white. It also had one of those on the night. Had one of those singer, songwriter, guitar playing people making noise in the background, which made me laugh a couple of times. I thought about a previous podcast where we talked about how live music in these places is literally background noise, because I don't remember looking over at them, but it was on the whole time.
I think, after that, it was like if she'd known the vibe, it would have been different. She would have brought a band and...
It was, it's weird. That type of live music to me is just put a fucking CD on. I don't get it. I guess it's great that they've got somewhere for those people to go, but...
It's just because you don't listen to that type of
dude,
music.
they're a dime a dozen. Fuck.
You're trying to have, rip on something that you just don't like.
No, I'm ripping...
It's not bad. Some people actually... There's people that go to, bars and just watch people with a guitar and sing, and they're on a stage and it's quiet and no one talks and people watch the act. You just don't like that.
No, I don't. It's rubbish. It's absolute rubbish. They're all the same. 1 in a million of them is Paul Kelly, and even he's better with the band. There's not a lot of quality guitar singer, songwriter, stand-up. They didn't even have they had a dude on the drums who was playing with fucking brushes, right? Not even drumsticks, I don't think. And her.
What's your point?
I don't know.
You just wanted better music for the night.
I just think
Don't worry, we'll fix that next time.
If you're going to have live music, have fucking live music. That venue's potentially could fit. Whoa.
Alarm's gone off. Hey.
Thank God. That was hectic. That venue could potentially fit 2, 3, 4, 500 people in it.
Yeah.
And it's big and there's nothing to damage or break. So why aren't they allowed to play? Why can't they put where that roller door is? Anyway, Freshie Brewing Co. Good place. But they should probably put better.
You just want live music to happen again.
I think it sucks, dude. There's nowhere for these young bands to play and they're worried about how it'd look, and I get it. I get it. That place is not designed to have a fucking...
No. And they've just got to play the venues until they get big enough to go and tour Europe.
Those guitar players, those singer-songwriter guitar players, they don't get big. 1 in a million gets big. I can't think of any right now. I'm trying. Anyway, there's not a lot of those singer-songwriter people. And we got so off track here.
Yeah.
But it's a cool venue, and if you just want to go have a beer that tastes like beer, it's the best in Brookvale for sure.
Cool. Next topic that you were talking about?
Punk rock in breweries. We're not doing it.
Everything's gone out the window. Al wants to have a rant about live music today.
Oh man, I feel for those sort of bottom bands that don't have anywhere to play. That's all I'm getting at. Anyway, onwards and upwards, which ties in a little bit to how do you feel about what's going on with skateboarding? Because it's all the same shit.
You've forgotten the list at the start, haven't you?
What was the list?
The topics you went from the first to the last just then.
What was in the middle? What did I miss?
You went about this winter.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Hang on.
There was like 2 or 3 other points in the middle, and then there was the end point. You just want to get to the point of having a rant.
No, I can't. I feel like that music thing got me a bit started. All right, so...
I was like, fucking cut to the rant. I've got something to say.
I'll do it at the end. I'll give you a reason to hang around. So, yeah, the Welcome to Winter Party was fun. There wasn't really much snow on the ground at the time at all. There really hasn't been a lot so far, like 25 centimetres, and they're pumping those guns.
Parish is doing a good job.
School holidays are a bit later this year, so they're getting it up and running. It seems like they're opening.
Still now 2 weeks, a bit, 2 and a bit, till school holidays.
Yeah, 3, isn't it? July 8th or something.
Yeah.
They're really late this year, so there should be good coverage, hopefully, by then for people to go down. This will come out well before then, right? This will be next week.
Yeah.
So we're recording this on 18th of June or something. So it'll be... Yeah. Hopefully there'll be a bit more snow between now and whenever this comes out. But what do you think? What do you think's going to happen?
About this season?
Yeah. Do you think it'll be a good one? I've looked at long range. So
Me too.
I kind of know. What do you think?
Well, there's a few snow days, like light snow days. But here's the thing. Okay, here's my question to you. I look at the long range and they just give me color codes, and it's light snow, heavy snow. What do they classify as light snow? Is it under 5, under 10?
Yeah, very little, like a couple of millimetres of precipitation, so a couple of centimetres. Medium's like 15 to 20, and then heavy would be over
But in the long range, they don't have a medium.
They don't fucking know.
I know. But it looks like they're predicting heavy snow start of July.
Yeah, they are saying that. They're having precipitation start of July. It's all temperature.
You're the weatherman in this situation.
Look, who knows? I think we'll be okay. I actually think there'll be a decent snowfall between now and school holidays. So
yeah,
I'm hoping for a good season. I'm hoping for at least a better than last year's season, which would be great, So we'll see. But yeah, my prediction looking at the weather is it looks like it's going to be cold at night, warm during the day, so that's good for snowmaking regardless.
Yeah.
It looks like there's another cold trough coming up for next week, so by the time this comes out, it should be pretty cold again. It's cold in Sydney, so who knows?
But they're doing a good job of getting stuff open.
Parish is doing a good job. I think
class.
Threadbow's struggling a little. They got Merritt's up.
Falls has got a few things open as well now.
Yeah, which is crazy because that's all man-made, isn't it? I don't think they've had much natural snow at all.
It looks pretty covered if you check the cameras lately.
I checked them today, but I don't pay attention that much to Victoria. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, I check them. I check Buller, Falls, Hotham, Thredbo and Parish.
I had a Brazilian dude talk to me today about a trip to New Zealand. I don't think they've got any snow yet.
Really? I've had a few people going to New Zealand too.
That might be a bit rough right now. I don't know. Maybe they've had similar. Who knows?
Yeah, but then you go to New Zealand anyway. It's a beautiful country.
Fuck. Whatever. Yeah, it is. It's beautiful. Land of the Hobbit. Lord of the Rings. What is it? What did they film over there? I lived over there.
Our relationship is like very obvious right now. I'm the positive to your negative.
I lived over there. I know what it's like. It's a postcard, but they lack trees for snowboarding.
Yeah, but some people don't like trees. You, on the other hand, do. Just like you don't like soft guitar music. Some people do.
Yeah, there's something wrong with a lot of you people.
Just because it's not your way.
Yeah, well, that's fucking right. I'm old enough to know what I like.
Oh, you're going to be the best, like, old person.
I'm already
like,
fucking that way.
No, but, like, when you get to, like, 80 and you stop, like, I was going to say giving a fuck. You don't give one now.
Yeah. You have to wait till I'm 80.
No.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be very open to other people's opinions when I'm 80. But is any 80-year-old open to people's opinions?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're just like racial slurs, whatever comes out of their mouth comes out. And I'm like, when you get to 80, it's going to be really interesting, the climate of the world and your opinion.
Yeah. Well, look, America's choosing between two 80-year-olds to run their country.
You could be president by the time you're 80.
I could be prime minister. I don't think I could be president.
No, you could move to America. I think they'd accept your political stances a little better over there.
No, because if they did that, Arnold Schwarzenegger would be president. You're not allowed to be president if you're not from America.
Oh, I think it's a popularity contest over there.
No, dude. You have to be born there. You can't be an immigrant and president. Trust me. I know this. I've seen Demolition Man. They changed the rules in Demolition Man to make
they can just change the fucking rules. That's the thing.
Yeah, but they won't. Anyway, what happened?
No, you're running the show and I'm just
the positivity of winter is you're positive. I'm relatively, I feel like
at the very start I was worried because opening weekend is never good. Never is. I think the seasons are shifting to slightly later.
Yeah, I agree. I think we've got to move the opening date back to somewhere around now, maybe even later,
like late
week.
June, and then have it keep open longer if it needs to be.
Yeah, literally it should open around now. When this releases, this is when it should open. And then possibly go into October when they've still got a fucking metre of base and they're not letting anyone ride. It's so dumb. But yeah, do you want me to have a rant about Vale Group and the way it's known?
I think you've been there, done that.
Okay, I won't then. What was the next subject? I had this all mapped out and I've forgotten.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not even 80 yet. What was the next one? So we think winter might be right. We've got some really cool new brands. So if you don't know what we're doing, we've got Public Snowboards, Joyride Snowboards will be here next week. Some different, just different stock on the floor. I'm really
keen to ride my Public snowboard.
Yeah.
It's like
they
all girls park
a jib
board.
girl.
Yeah, it's sick. Looks really cool.
You can't ride it though. You got a busted ACL.
I can ride it eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
I know everyone comes in and they're like, "Are you going down this season?" And I'm like, "Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah,
maybe spring riding for me."
ACLs are a long road, hey?
Very fucking long road.
Very fucking long road. Okay, so now are we on to skateboarding yet?
Go. Have your rant.
No, I just want to get your opinion on what's happened. Like, it's so soft. And we're leading into like this massive Olympic thing that was supposed to be the savior of the sport or whatever you wanted to call it. What's your take on what's happening? Like, you're down in that shop enough to get a vibe on what's gone wrong or where the customer base has moved, or what do you think's happened to skateboarding?
I could be completely wrong, but just my gut instinct, I feel like skateboarding's coming back on for sure. I feel like the core, I'm going to say what I really think here.
Say what you really think.
I think the core, the core of skateboarding have gotten very caught up in fashion. Almost too caught up in fashion, almost too cool for school per se, that they've lost the skateboarder attitude and it's become a little bit too exclusive. And I think we're hitting a point where fashion's moved on from skateboarding.
I agree with that.
And like fashion does, it finds a trend, makes it cool, it moves on, finds another trend, makes it cool. Fashion is this giant beast that can't sit still and it has to continually keep evolving.
Yeah,
that's why brands, like we've seen it with Nike, with Adidas, with Converse, with Vans, it ebbs and flows and they never stay hot for long periods of time. and they have their moment and then they go, and then they have their moment and they go. That's just fashion.
You just mentioned 4 footwear brands, which were owned by 3 companies that have no skateboarding heritage whatsoever.
Yeah, because they're the ones trying to dominate and keep up with fashion at the moment.
So what are the 4 biggest skateboarding footwear brands these days?
Are they even...
Well, this is kind of gets to what I think's gone pear-shaped a little bit.
This is what I'm saying. Fashion found skateboarding, whereas previously, before, skateboarders were creating their own fashion and making it cool. They were going to Vinnie's. They were buying their own shit.
Fashion used to follow skateboarding.
Yes. And then we went through this bubble where fashion found skateboarding and started manipulating it.
Yeah.
And then skateboarders went, oh, cool, we're part of fashion. Let's run this trend. Yeah. And now I think fashion is moving on from that and has found this unique period where they can be street style without skateboards in their hand.
I think it's funny that you've thought about that question directly from the fashion perspective.
Because I consume fashion.
I understand that. I'm more asking the question from where did the skateboarding culture go? What happened to it? Why are there less and less teenage boys?
You mean the group, like the Nullshade group? There's less
a misfit teenage kid. This was the conversation I sort of had today, and I asked one of the people I was talking to, who is like a Northern Beaches legend skateboarder. I won't say who it is because it's stupid, but he's sort of my age, I guess, late 40s.
Yep.
Still skates better than 90% of 20-year-olds. He's genuinely a great skateboarder. And I said, what was the appeal to you when you got into skateboarding? He said it was a misfit being accepted as that, and that kind of dirtiness and grunginess and like that culture was what appealed to him.
Mm-hmm. I have an answer for this straight away.
Yeah.
The reason why I went to fashion is because of the transition, but it's also because of alongside that whole blow up was Instagram and TikTok caught up in that whole mix. And so now I think from prior to that, the older kids in the skate park were bringing up the younger kids, and the younger kids were looking up to the kids that drank and smoked and swore and, were like, they had that attitude, and not necessarily saying that drinking and smoking and swearing is a good thing. But what I'm trying to encapsulate is that they had this fuck society attitude. I don't fit in. I'm going to do things my way. And they did that through their skateboarding, and they did that through, I remember when I first started working at Borders, and I had favorite skateboarders because of their style, not because they were the best, because of their attitude and their style and how they skated and how they approached skateboarding. It was just different, and that appealed to me. Now, the younger generation and the kids are being brought up by TikTok and social media. They're not being brought up by the older dudes at the skate park anymore.
No, not at all. So what does the future of it look like if we're talking about such a sad situation? For everyone who doesn't know, one of the last independent skateboard brands was bought out.
Footwear?
Yeah. Skateboard. They were a true skateboarding brand.
Yeah.
Soltec, who owned Etnies ES in America, no longer exists as an independent company. They're now part of the world's biggest snowboard buying group, which is Nidecker. And they own a plethora of companies because Soltec also owned 32, which I presume was the appeal to Nidecker.
Yep.
Which now means that you're talking about, from an independence point of view, you're talking about maybe the last bastion of independent brands that are so small, like Lakai and Last Resort and Kariuma, and these tiny little brands compared to Nike, Adidas, Asics, New Balance. And Converse is Nike, for those of you that don't know that. Vans is part of Vanity Fair Group, so they're hardly an independent. They're a massive corporation. So you're talking about like this corporate buyout of a sport that was all about, for me, coming up, being different and not being a part of like what everyone else did. Now I'm wearing Adidas's on my feet. And it's getting harder and harder to find a way to look at it from the previous culture point of view. So another conversation that came up today is, how do you think you'd feel as that 11 or 12-year-old boy or girl coming through, but it was all boys back then, let's face it. If you went to the skate park and you saw a girl who's 9 years old landing 540s on a vert ramp, what would have happened? And literally everyone in the room, there was 4 of us having this conversation, went, well, I probably would have just got back on the bus and gone home. Like, it just would be I don't want to be a part of that, because I'm never going to get that good at it, and I'm never going to be as good as that little girl. That's massively hurting the culture of skateboarding for that kid who wants to come in and be that free-thinking, independent.
Can I ask you Can I ask you a question then?
Sure.
Can you reframe that question to yourself? If you rocked up to the skate park and you saw a 9-year-old landing a 540 who was a boy, how would you feel?
How old am I?
The same question that
11.
you asked.
11 or 12. I'd still be disconcerted by it.
But you wouldn't get back on the bus?
I don't think I would have got back on the bus. That's the difference. What I did see when I got off the bus.
I'm not trying to point out.
I don't think it's a sexist thing. I just think it's a 9-year-old thing.
It's a perception thing.
It helps. It hurts even more. Okay, hang on. Back this up. I've phrased it the wrong way. The 11-year-old or 12-year-old person that I was didn't want to talk to girls at all. He was like still very finding himself, I wasn't confident enough to be talking to a girl, apart from the ones at school that you kind of knew because you'd known them since they were 5. Like, that would have been it's so intimidating for the kid, the misfit kid who doesn't know himself, to have to deal with that. It's like, holy fuck, the most confident person at this skate park is a 9-year-old girl. That's heavy. If it was a 9-year-old boy, he'd probably be at least able to kind of go over and go, fuck, man, that was rad.
How did you get here? How did you get to this point?
Yeah, not that a 9-year-old's going to be able to articulate shit, but...
Or that was sick. Like, there's less... That's what I was trying to get at with the genders. Like, I know it's not a sexism thing.
No, it's not. It's an intimidation thing. It's a confidence thing. It just would have shook me.
Yeah.
And I don't think that the culture of skateboarding can ever be what it was. I know that skateboarding's still gnarly, right? The one thing that we all know is it hurts when you hit the ground.
Yeah. Can I ask a question, just backing onto like that question? Like, with skateboarding now, like, I'm just tried to put that in my head logically and like transitioned it to snowboarding for myself. And I instantly thought of 2 circumstances. Like, I've gone to the snow and I've seen like a 9-year-old doing like tame dogs and hitting rails. And I'm like, fuck, I'm not going to go up and talk to him and be like, hey, how did you learn this? He's fucking 9. But then I've also been in the same situation where I've been riding the park and I've seen a girl who's 2 years younger than me, maybe, and like, or around the same age, but I've definitely known that I'm slightly older than her. And she's been hitting rails, hitting kickers. Of course, I'm going to go talk to her. Like, the age gap difference is also different too.
Snowboarding is funny because I'm now a 52-year-old snowboarder who still enjoys so much of snowboarding that I don't care about the park. Like, there's so much more to snowboarding.
Yeah.
Skateboarding happens either at a spot or in a park.
Yeah.
It doesn't, unless you're a fucking longboarder, and no one, that's a whole different.
Yeah, you're probably not listening to this anyway.
Like, it's a different sport, right? So there is no.
But what I'm getting at is maybe it's the age. Like, maybe because like we're having parents come into the shop bringing in their like 3-year-olds being like, I need a skateboard for them. And
which is like, insane.
And so the kids are starting so much younger. So they skateboard for 5 years and they're now 9 and they're fucking killing it. Whereas like previously, and same with me growing up in snowboarding, it's like you start at 14, 15. Yeah. So by the time you're 20, you're getting good, or even like, mid-20s. And it's at that age where you're like, okay, you've had enough years on this earth to be putting in the effort to be getting good. And it kind of breaks your brain that a 9-year-old can do that.
Skateboarding's got in issues that I don't think can be quickly resolved. Put it that way. I think that we're now 2 years into the slowdown after pandemic.
Random question.
Why are you putting your hand up?
Because I am. Is there an age limit for the Olympics? Like, what is the youngest competing Olympian?
Young-wise, I don't know. I mean, no, there's 13-year-old gold medalists in gymnastics, hasn't there been?
Yeah, so is there an age limit?
No.
So a 9-year-old could go to the Olympics?
If they're good enough, I presume so, yeah.
That's fucking insane.
So there's that little gin, I can't think of his name, who's doing street runs, and in the middle of his street run, there's vert tricks going on. Like the whole level of it has got so insane. So these young guys at the Olympics are going to probably win it. You'll probably see little kids on the podium. I think the girls potentially could be all under the age of 16.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So there's always been that local kid. We have one.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. Like we had Jamie and he was 9 when we put him on?
And 14-year-olds would look up to him when he was 10.
Yeah.
Because he had that style.
And he hung out with the older kids. Yeah, so it was like he was in with the 20-year-olds and stuff like that. So it was like, I want to have Jamie's style and I want to skate like him and I want to do this. And then I want to be in with that crew and that crowd.
And he was quite a quiet kid. Like he was a bit more humble and not like he is today. It was a little shit.
He grew out of that one.
Yeah, he was really quiet and humble. And like, I guess kids would look up to him even though he was younger than them. It wasn't intimidating to have him at the skate park, because he was hanging out with those older boys. And Ollie and Matt and all those guys brought him up, basically. So, it's a hard one, man. Like, it's just become so different to me culturally that...
But I think that goes back to the point of, like, it's not about which gender they are. It's not about that.
No,
it's more about...
I apologize for saying... a 9-year-old girl, but
that's what you're
kind
seeing.
Of back it.
That's what you're seeing though today. So you're taking a real life situation and going, how would I feel if that was my reality?
My perspective, yeah.
If I was an 11-year-old kid coming into skateboarding now, which is reality.
That's what I would think. I would think, fuck this, I'm going to go play guitar or...
It is like, but I see that too. Like I'm riding on the mountain and I see a 9-year-old kid snowboarding better than me. I'm like, fuck that kid.
Yeah, see, I don't feel like that. It's funny because like I'm getting to that age, I guess, with snowboarding where I guess 50% of the people on the mountain that have ridden for a long time are going to be as good, if not better than me. Like, and there is an age problem. Like once you get to a certain age.
Even then with skateboarding, you were putting yourself in perspective of a younger skateboarder.
So if I put myself in the perspective of a younger snowboarder, there were no kids. So it's really hard for me to think about that. We were the youngest.
Yeah.
We were the first kind of people riding
Okay,
snowboards.
well, when you were 30.
What, had I seen a 17-year-old better than me, I'd expect them to be better than me.
Were they younger kids coming in, like the odd one?
Oh, man, they got better than us quick. We've talked about this. Like my whole dream of being a pro snowboarder didn't last long.
So it doesn't exactly transition well because the sports are so different. Yeah. But what I'm saying is you as a skateboarder, right, now you were putting yourself as an 11-year-old kid as a skateboarder. But now if you still got on a skateboard, because even though you're not because of your ankles and everything, but there is still a lot of older guys that still skate in their 40s and 50s, roll around.
They're not one of them today.
And they're not trying to set the world on fire. They're doing it because they love it, just like you in snowboarding.
I'm not suggesting it's affecting the 45-year-olds.
No, and they're saying, I don't really care I'm just doing it because I love it.
Yep.
And that's the same as you with snowboarding.
Still there. Absolutely. And I'm saying, okay. That's a different topic. What I'm saying is that there's been a death of the culture. There's less kids coming into it, and this is why. The 40-plus-year-olds, like even the 30-year-olds, they're all still rolling. If they want to roll around, they can still roll around. Yeah. Like they're still skating pretty good. And
I think what you're saying, and what I'm saying too, is like the culture has disappeared, and the culture is that the older kids bringing up the younger kids being like, hey, you didn't fit into team sports, you'll fit in here. We don't care what the fuck you wear.
That's not the case anymore.
No.
There's
now
a fucking coach.
Now it's like, if you're not wearing the cool shit that everyone else is wearing on TikTok, and you're not rocking up to the skateboard with the latest skateboard, or you're not riding this truck or this wheel, or wearing this style, you're not part of the cool kids in skateboarding.
The cool kids aren't even cool anymore. That's the problem.
Yeah, unless you've got the skills, and then you can wear whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
But and you can wear fucking leggings.
Here's an interesting one. Like, how do you feel? Like, that was Julius May. You just described Julius May. He was fucking good enough.
My stab
to wear
just then was Niger. Like, you can wear whatever the fuck you want.
But go back 20 years or 10 years even, 15 years.
Yeah.
Someone like Julius could rock up to the skate park in tracksuit pants and a beanie in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
Crush it, and everyone's just
one of my favorite photos is Julius standing on the beach with his skateboard in full like winter out attire. It's like beanie, heavy jacket, like scarf on, like everything, and he was standing on a beach. It was like, this is the perfect photo to sum up Julius.
I don't see the sport attracting a Julius anymore. I just don't see that guy in the sport anymore. I don't see it, and because we're calling it a fucking sport, that breaks my brain that I'm sitting here calling it a sport.
Yeah, because you grew up in the time where it was illegal.
Skateboarding's a crime. We need a shirt that says "Make skateboarding a crime again." Do you remember what were those shirts? Skateboarding's not a crime. For years, that was the shirt. We need to make a shirt. Someone note this down. Make skateboarding a crime again. Jeez, I've just solved the whole problem.
Yeah. Can we get that old logo and then just like black?
This one?
No, the old thing. Skateboarding is not a crime, and just like black out the not. Yeah. Skateboarding is a crime.
It just isn't, right? It's the reality, right? It's no longer got that edginess to it from a perspective of the mainstream person.
Can I say something a little like controversial? Not controversial. I don't know the right word for
Everything's been relatively controversial so far.
Could be wrong, but I feel, this is a feeling, I feel like skateboard videos now have to put in a clip of them getting chased by security to make it cooler.
It's fucking rubbish too. Half the time they feel like they're fake.
And like half the security guards now are like, we'll watch, you're good.
Man, some of the security guards can skate.
And so if they get hassled, it's like, quick, film this so we can look like we're still skating, like it's, you know, we're breaking the rules. Like Tim was on the last week's podcast where he goes, we weren't doing anything wrong, but we were breaking into schools after hours to skate stairs because we wanted to, and we weren't just like causing a ruckus or, you know, breaking property or damaging anything. We were just skating a set of stairs, but we felt like we were pushing the rules and breaking the boundaries.
It always felt like you were doing something wrong.
Yeah.
When you had to skateboard. I don't think the kids feel that at all anymore.
No, because it's right.
Well, they go to a pristine facility.
And they go, and their mum's dropping them off.
And there's parents everywhere, and someone's coaching little Johnny over there doing 900s.
Yeah, and then and if something does go down, the parents are going to step in and have a word.
Yeah, there's no kids doing anything shady around the skate park like the old days. Like, it's pretty clean cut down there. I'm sure at night it gets worse, but during the day it's pretty play schooly. It's not like the old days. Like, there's not even a lot of swearing. It's just got such a very sterile atmosphere, and that's boring. That's like a person playing guitar in a brewery on a Sunday arvo. It's boring. And that's a wrap. I don't know, like the reality is that's sort of the same. Like, I mean, that's what's triggered me saying.
Yeah, but look, like,
let's jump to skateboarding.
Here's the thing, like,
it is all tied together.
Here's the thing though, like, we can sit on either side of the fence, and we've jumped on both sides tonight. Like, there are negatives and positives to this situation, because I can sit here and throw out a positive and go, it is fucking rad that there are so many girls coming into 100%. Skateboarding. It is amazing that there's an opportunity for kids to make a career in this sport now and to make something of themselves and go to the Olympics and
so where
get
are they?
sponsorships.
I don't begrudge any of that, but where are the numbers? The sport's still too gnarly for that to be a reality. It fucking hurts and it's hard to get good at. So it's not really the opportunity that everybody thinks. Therefore, the dropout numbers are still at 99%. Like every complete we sell, one of those will turn into a skateboarder.
Yep.
We're not selling enough of those completes because they're seeing their friends get smashed.
Do you think it's like, because this has happened with me in snowboarding where like, cool, a gnarly movie's a gnarly movie. And I go, yeah, sweet, that shit's insane, but it's unrelatable to me. Do you think that's happening with?
Because skateboarding's always had that. It's always been unobtainable pros. Like there was always that. I felt like that back when fucking Animal Chin came out. I was like, holy shit, these guys are so much better than us. Like that was always someone at pro level that's mind-bogglingly good. So I don't think that was ever the discouraging part because I was part of a culture. It wasn't about
but
what
now
I could
that there's
do.
no culture, it's like, okay, well, I'm here, I'm just starting,
It's a sport.
and I go to a skate park and I'm not included in the cool kids, or if I am, still like,
The cool
how
kids
do I,
aren't even that cool. I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to buy a $200
so
FA board.
how do you go from buying a skateboard, doing your first ollie, to getting good? Because there's no culture nurturing you to that point
That's what
now.
I'm getting at, right? It's all going to have to be done through bloody YouTube, or
You can't teach skateboarding
No, you
through
can't.
YouTube.
There's a cultural problem.
Yeah.
So I don't see that being quickly resolved. I have a ton of respect for the guys out there coaching first-time skateboarders. If they go and run clinics or, hey, get on a skateboard, try this. I think I've got all the time in the world for the people doing that. I have zero time for somebody who's trying to get a kid to progress via coaching. I think it's a rubbish way for them to learn. I think that's the death of the culture too. I have no issue with an Olympic level coaching program because they're Olympians already. They didn't get there by being coached every
sweet.
step of the way.
Yeah, I get that. So there's like a coach for literally to get you confidence up to get you
stand on a board.
Yeah, to get you like in.
Yeah.
Once you're in, you don't need a coach unless you get to.
Well, once you're identified as holy shit, this kid's good. Then coaching becomes essential if they want to become
it's more about coaching
Olympian.
about lifestyle and mental and like everything else.
They have to stop smoking bongs and start eating properly, or they're not going to make it to the Olympics.
You've now got the style and you've got the skill level. Let's harness that.
That's not what I'm getting
That's a different level of coaching.
There's this massive amount of bullshit going on in between first time and Olympics.
That middle ground
shouldn't be coached.
And that middle ground should be done by the older dudes at the skate park going,
guys
go faster, hit it.
Yeah.
Go faster.
Lewis Wood mindset.
Go faster.
Why are you being such a softie?
Yeah.
Go harder.
Fucking go. Yeah.
Go. Push it. You can do that, but do it faster.
Yeah.
Me and Andy, who used to work for Soltec, I remember when we'd sit and watch all these kids trying to get sponsored. We'd look at their tapes and look at all this stuff, and every time me and Andy would look at each other and go, if only they'd fucking go faster. Like they've totally got all the skills, but they're riding slow. It's boring as shit. Nobody's going to sponsor a kid who rides slow. So they didn't need to be coached. They just need to be told, if you want a shoe sponsor, bro, skate faster.
Moral of the story, go faster.
Go faster.
You don't need a coach.
Yeah. Whether it's snowboarding or skateboarding, just go faster.
Yeah, fuck, it's the truth.
There you go. That's a wrap.
That's it. We're going to leave it on that.
Fuck it. The moral of this week's episode is go faster. The culture's dead in skateboarding, and we're hoping that it can be CPR'd back, but go faster.
Yeah. Fucking get your own style and your own
you
way
can't
of
coach
doing
style.
things.
That's the other thing, right? And if you start coaching style, then guess what? Every
you
person
don't
who
need
gets coached by that guy is going to have the same fucking style.
It's what we're trying to do with the vintage stuff in the store. Is fucking have your own style, do it your way.
You're all getting brainwashed by TikTok and Instagram. Turn that shit off, except for follow at Borders Skate Snow. And like and subscribe. And I'm over it. Let's go home. Bye.
Yeah. Peace.
It's a podcast.